Gravel's biggest rider has just signed for Specialized. Has the road bike killed the cyclocross race bike? Pro has joined a 3D saddle party. I'm going to try and argue you probably don't need to buy a new road bike in 2026. Welcome to Just Ride Bikes and the first tech news roundup video of the year. And if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to the channel by hitting that button right down below. Right, let's get stuck in with the news that Keegan Swinton is now riding for Speciailized. Yes, that's right. Speciailized is clearly gunning to dominate the gravel racing world in 2026 with a signing of the best rider in the game. The US gravel star was pictured just a few days ago outside the Speciailized HQ in front of a brand new, very shiny red Speciailized Crux, confirming the rumours he'll leave his Santa Cruz team behind. Speciailized says it wants to achieve big goals at the highest level, which clearly means winning all the big races that actually matter. So Unbound, the Lifetime Grand Prix Series, Leadfield and much more. This adds more weight for me to the expectation and hope that Speciailized will use this signing to develop and launch a brand new gravel race bike this year. Keegan Swinton previously raced a Santa Cruz Stigmata, which is like a cross between a Crux and Diverge, so not a super racy or aero. And it'd be interesting if his feedback had led into a new Crux Aero, tarmac, gravel, whatever new bike might be. If Speciailized does take a punt on a aero gravel frame, which I think it needs to do, as I outlined in my prediction video linked above. This new super gravel team is also sponsored by SRAM, and Keegan's bike is a mix of a Speciailized Crux frame, Raval wheels and Speciailized tyres, and a SRAM Red Explore group set, so 1x13, with a massive single aero chainring, and of course a very slam stem, but still external cables. I'm not sure if Keegan's success sold many extra Santa Cruz bikes for Santa Cruz. The Stigmata is an awesome bike, but the brand is best known for mountain bikes, and whether that success led to more people buying the Stigmata, I don't know. But Speciailized has form in signing the best riders, the best athletes in different disciplines, Pete Sagan, Remco Evenepoel, etc. And that success on the road has definitely led to many sales of the Tarmac series over the years. So I guess they hope to replicate that success in the gravel world with the signing of Keegan Swinton. So definitely an athlete to watch. Follow his Instagram. If there's a new bike being developed, he might share it or leak it on his Instagram. So definitely one to follow. Let me know what you think of his signing and the Speciailized move to build a gravel super team by dropping a comment down below. Cyclocross is probably the best cycling discipline out there in my humble opinion, but it's still pretty niche. And over the years, brands have started moving their CX race bikes towards gravel. The Speciailized Crux and the Candel Supercross are two good examples. I own a Crux and I bloody love that bike. I've done loads of CX on it over the years and it's superb. It's also a superb gravel bike too, so fat tyres fitted, and even bike packing is doable, which shows just how capable a CX/gravel bike is, but too capable and versatile for Belgian CX specialist Toon Art, who rides for Aubert and has chosen not their gravel bike, not their CX bike, which they don't make, but a road bike, the Aubert Orca OMX, a bike designed for roads, not mud, sand and gravel. Now his bike does have some modifications, of course. There's apparently a different fork, the fork from the Terra gravel bike on that bike to give it the tire clearance it needs, and of course CX race tyres. And in a crazy sort of way, it sort of makes some sense because most modern road race bikes like the Orca, Tarmac and Dome have clearance for tyres up to 32mm wide or wider. The MV Medis up to 35, and that's official clearance. There's always more space between the tyre and the frame and fork, so you can go wider if you want to decrease that clearance. So because the CX racing circuit is mandated to ride a 33mm wide tyre by the UCI, a 33mm wide tyre with a low profile tread pattern would fit and does fit on a road race frame. And providing it's not too muddy, then clearance shouldn't be an issue. And it clearly works for Toon Art, who came second in a very snowy race against Mathieu van der Poel and Wout van Aert the other day, who sadly crashed and was out for the rest of the season. So hopefully he has a speedy recovery for the classic season just around the corner. But I do have reservation because the key difference between a road bike and a CX bike, as close as they sort of are now, is the geometry. So a CX bike has more ground clearance for pedaling with a higher bottom bracket off the ground and usually steeper angles for tighter steering around the twisty courses on a CX race circuit. But clearly, in his hands, it's not slowing down at all. So very interesting. I'm sort of minded to try that on my own road bike, but since I have a Crux, it seems a sort of pointless experiment. Let me know what you think by dropping a comment down below. What do you think of road bikes being used as CX race bikes and manufacturers abandoning CX and moving those platforms over to gravel? I'd love to hear your thoughts as always. So the takeaway for me is that road bikes have become super capable with ever wider tire clearance, and this demonstrates how capable and versatile they are. And also, if you have a road bike and want to dabble in CX over the winter, you have a circuit near you or a race series near you, maybe you don't need a CX race bike after all, just some new tires for your road bike. Pro has today launched its first ever 3D printed saddle, the Stealth 3D. 3D printed technology has become massively popular in the saddle market, making big waves at the top end with Physique and Speciailized and others, and now Shimano component brand is getting involved. The Stealth 3D is said to be based on pressure mapping data and feedback from test riders, using different mesh zones in key areas to improve comfort where they can, and apparently make it easier to hold an aggressive aero position when you're right on the nose or the rivet of the saddle. Those are their claims, at least. It comes in 2 widths and a choice of carbon or steel rails and weighs 224 grams in its lightest version and costs £280. As a fan of 3D saddles, it's great to see more choice in the market and more brands bring out options. Still expensive, but the price is gradually coming down over time, and the Pro Stealth is a pretty popular saddle, so a good move by the company. I know I spend a lot of time talking about the latest bike releases here on Just Ride Bikes, but you don't have to buy a new bike. Nobody is forced to buy a new one, but companies do a very good job making new bikes very appealing and desirable. That's what they're in the business to do, sell more bikes, the same as Apple and Mercedes-Benz. They want to sell more bikes, but a new bike probably won't make you faster. It might make you more aero and it might be lighter, but it's your legs, of course, that really determine how fast you go. There are bigger gains to be had from optimizing your current setup, getting more aero, dialing your bike fit, investing in an aero helmet, aero socks and other stuff that will probably make a bigger difference than buying a brand new bike. And with new bike being so expensive, even servicing and upgrading your current bike can bring some serious improvements in performance. I've done videos over the last few years of some really good bang for buck upgrades that will improve performance way more than buying a new bike. Inner tubes, tyres, wheels, saddles, handlebars. I'll put some links to those videos down below. And of course, the second-hand market is awash with good bikes going for a fraction of the new bikes. I bought some screaming second-hand bikes over the last few years from Speciailized and Cannondale, and look on eBay and Facebook Marketplace reveals loads of good choice of well-loved and well-looked-after bikes that cost a fraction of a new bike. So if you really want a new bike, it's definitely worth checking out the second-hand market. I know some people can have reservations about buying a pre-owned bike, and there are companies like Bicycle who do the servicing and make sure a bike is all checked over before you buy it, because buying it from the seller direct on Facebook Marketplace or eBay does come with a certain risk. But if you're savvy, or take a savvy bike friend or mechanic along with you, some of that risk can be minimized, and there are definitely some absolute bargains to be had out there, as I found out over the last few years, buying 2 CAD 12s and a Speciailized Tarmac, and they've both been blinding bikes. More on those bikes coming in 2026 as I renovate them and show that second-hand bikes and cheaper bikes can definitely really cut the mustard when it comes to going fast on the road. As I'm based in the UK, it's winter right now and it's pretty dark all the time. Even when it's daylight, it's still pretty gloomy. And for me, safety is paramount at the time of year. So lights, bright clothing and riding smartly. And this story is really interesting, and I think definitely one that more pedal brands should offer. That's because it's been shown by a study in 2020 that lights on the pedal are much better for capturing the attention of drivers than a seat post mounted light on its own. This is because of the up and down motion, which makes a cyclist stand out from the background of the country lane much more effectively. The problem is that most of us use clipless pedals, and there's no way to fix a light or even a reflector onto pedals. Even the cheap, flat, sort of cage pedals you get with a new bike have reflectors on. It's a EU law, they have to have reflectors on, but our fancy, expensive clipless pedals, well, no, you can't. Well, you can now because one brand has smartly made the choice to offer the option of a removal light on their pedal. Look has released a version of the Keo pedals with a built-in LED light. How smart is that? It can be removed when you don't need it for riding in the summer or doing a sportive, and even more smartly, they can be retrofitted to older pedals as well. So you don't have to rush out and buy a new pedal to get this new feature. I really don't know why more pedal brands don't offer the option to fit a reflector or light. It surely can't be that hard, and for us safety-conscious cyclists, it's a smart move. And talking of smart moves, if you want to look at some worthwhile value for money upgrades for your bike this year, then do watch the video right up here. But that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again same time next week.